On the podcast, I'm talking with Dakari Frazier. He plays at Pickerington Central, defensive end, a very successful program. I go there every year because they usually have 4 or 5 guys that really need looked at. So, Dakari, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
You're hustling a little bit tonight, aren't you?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You doing anything in the spring?
In the spring,
I plan
to try to go to some camps and just work out as much as I
you're
can.
not playing a sport right now, right?
Oh no, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay, that's good. And you have time to work out and everything. You guys just had your combine a few weeks ago, didn't you?
Yes, sir. We did. Yeah.
Central.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. Okay, let's talk football. Why football? What makes football so good?
Football. See, I at first actually I didn't used to like football, but when I got older, like I moved to Pickerington, and I'm like, oh, okay, like all the kids, they're playing football, and they was just always the thing around here, and I played it, and I liked how. For some reason, I like to run the ball and I like to tackle people. It was just the tackling part for me that was the funnest part. Then I continued to play it, and it just grew into me kind of. It like kind of naturally grew into me because my dad, he put me in it at first, and I didn't like it. Then he was like, okay, like I'm like let you like naturally grow into stuff. So like he didn't force me into it. So then I just started playing, and I just loved it and since then I haven't stopped.
That's really good. That's really good. Taco Charlton, you ever heard that name?
Yes, sir.
You remind me a little bit of him. I hope you work harder than he. No, I like him a lot. I was one of the few guys that really liked him.
Yeah, yes, sir.
He's making some money right now, I think, or was.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a good player. He's a good player. What's the toughest thing about football? What's the toughest thing?
The toughest, nothing really. I would say for the something. Now, I haven't struggled with this, but I would say something that like can get tough sometimes is you got to mentally prepare yourself. Like a lot of people, you got to go practice every day and keep working out, continuously do this and that. It takes energy and, preparing for games is preparing for games. Football is like almost year round. So I would say that getting mentally prepared for what the work you have to put in, I would say that is the toughest part.
Well, I'm sure you don't worry too much about that, but it happens. Yeah. It happens every once in a while.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you just got to stay motivated. Yes, sir. Yeah, motivate. I'm motivated.
Think about making money someday and getting free education coming up. That's not bad, man. Yeah. You play any other sports?
No, sir. I do not play any other sports. I had tried to do track, but I just wanted to like focus on like getting better at football and training and stuff and working on my weaknesses.
Yeah, you're an in-between guy in track, I would think. Probably throwing the shot and discus maybe, but you're big. So
yes, sir.
That's good. Where do you work out at school?
Yes, sir. I do that, and I also do some other. I just do like training. I have a trainer and I do like hand work and, I work on my hands and I also do like other training stuff to work on plyometrics and speed. And, I lift at home sometimes too.
That's really good. You probably don't have him, but down there, Chuck Gresham he used to help me with camps and combines. He's on the other side of town, I think.
Yes, sir. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, sir.
But he's pretty serious about it. He does a good job. Okay. Anybody kind of influenced you? Anybody kind of directed you? You're going to be a senior, but so far, anybody in your life you said something about your dad, but anybody really, is that your dad? Who's really kind of been an influence on you and made you where you are today?
Definitely, I would definitely say my dad. He's always watched football. He loves football. He actually played football also. And he is all I've always been around it. He just loves it so much, and I just like see it so much. And I'm like, oh, okay, And he pushes me. My mom and dad both push me to work hard. They continue to like push me to work harder and always say never give up. And he puts me in all these types of trainings. He spends a lot of money on me, and yes, sir. Yeah, he makes sure I'm right. And anything I need, it's when it comes in, he's always there for me. And
that's good. The better you do, that will be payback for him too.
Yeah,
I mean,
yes,
the
sir.
better
Yeah,
you do, it's going to make
for
him
sure.
feel better.
Yes,
So all
sir.
that work he's done, I'm sure that's really good. You know, we talked about sports. What would be, you're playing defensive end, and
Yes, sir.
sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. I watched you today on video, well, a month ago, and then I like to watch it right to today because I knew I was going to talk to you. What do you think your strong points are?
I would say being aggressive is one of my strong points, and getting to the ball is one of my strong points. Yes, sir. Chasing the ball down when it needs to be chased.
Finding the ball and getting
Yes,
to
sir.
it and
Yes,
finishing. That's good. I would mention to you, I talked to you earlier. You really do a good job with your hands. I mean, you're going to get better, but
Yeah,
you don't just,
Oh,
you're always moving your hands and flipping and slapping, and that keeps that offensive guy off balance. And
yes, sir.
that's
Yeah.
really good. And I think the other thing is you play low enough, pad under pad, and then go from there. And we talked about that, but I think you do a nice job at defensive end. And the only thing is, you're going to get bigger and bigger now. You get too big, they may move you inside.
Yeah, down the D. Yeah,
But
hey,
that's
I have
even
no problem
better.
with that.
That's even better because I think with your quickness and everything, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, sir. I love
those guys
defense.
make
Yeah,
you can't find defensive tackles, good
Yeah.
ones. You can
Yeah,
find
yes,
big
sir.
fat guys that take up you lost me. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Let's talk about what do you have to work on then?
I feel like everything, there's always room for improvement. But I know for the most part, I need to work on my footwork. I need to work on my my hip tightness. I definitely want to continue to work on my hands and my takeoff and just basically everything. But for the most part, but definitely my hands, my hips, and speed, everything. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you finish. That's when it's huge. And I agree with you on those things. A little bit of everything, but if you can just keep that flexibility, work on those flexibility drills too. The quickness drills and stuff like that.
Yes,
and
sir.
bust a little bit. That's really good. Okay, what advice would you give, Dakari, to a freshman? Okay, your program is so good, and I'm very familiar with it. But you got a freshman. You see some freshmen. What's that dog barking? No, I'm just kidding.
My dog,
I'm joking with you, man. What advice would you give to a freshman, about August 5th? What would you tell them?
I would say continue to work. Don't ever give up. Because, some people as freshmen, like you work and you're like, oh, well, it's not working. I'm not getting in. And continue to work. Don't ever stop. I would say don't ever stop. Stay motivated and keep doing what you're doing. Keep pushing at it. Put it this way, if you keep pushing at it, you know what I'm saying? If you don't stop, if you work as hard as you can do it.
Yeah.
You can make it possible.
And plus, you don't know how big you're going to get.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Freshmen, sometimes all of a sudden, that next year they shoot up and you just have to have the attitude. I'm sure not everybody does. Not everybody really loves football. They like it, but they don't love it.
Yes, sir.
And your program, I know some of your players. I've been over there a lot of times with Coach Sherrick, and I think a lot of you guys love football. If you don't, you won't be there.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
It's pretty simple as that. Okay, I asked 3 silly questions. Here's the first one. If you could trade places with somebody for one day, anybody, one day, who would you trade places with?
I would want to trade places with one of the smartest people, because if I trade places with them and I learn all the ways to Elon Musk, he's very smart. If I could trade places with him for one day and get the knowledge that he has and then apply it to myself, I would do that.
Who's that?
Elon Musk. He made Tesla. He's an architect. Yeah,
wow.
Engineer. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Well, speaking of that, how's school going then?
Good. School is going very good, actually. Yeah. School is great.
Good grades.
Yes, sir. For sure.
You're thinking about long term. What were you thinking about studying in college?
Architecture and engineering. Architecture or engineering.
Wow, that's really good. You must be good with numbers.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You must be. Okay. I'm an old English teacher, so
Oh, okay.
Math was like a foreign subject to me, man.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Anyway,
Yeah, it can get
what
pretty
do
tough.
you have any? You know, you guys have played some really good football since you've been there, or even before. Any major sports moment for you? Any time that you're going into your senior year, but as you look back, something you'll never forget, a sports moment, a time that you, I don't know, made a big play or your team won. Well, anything like that? Do you have any of those?
Everything. I would say every moment with the team. I would never forget because I enjoy being on my team so much. I enjoy every game we play, every game we win. It's especially last year. It's a privilege to be able to play with COVID and all that. Everybody doesn't get to play football. Just every single game, everything that we win, everything we do good, everything. Any moment that was created with my team, I would say is a memorable moment because all this stuff it doesn't last forever. So
yeah. Any favorite sports guy, either any guy that you kind of emulate a little bit, or you think about it, you watch him play?
Yes, sir. When Cam Chancellor played, I loved watching him. He was my favorite player. And then I moved on to like Aaron Donald after Cam Chancellor retired.
Aaron Donald's pretty good, isn't he?
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, yes, sir. For sure.
He's pretty intense, I think. I'm joking with you. Here's my second silly question. What's one thing that nobody knows about you? One thing that nobody knows about you.
See,
tough one.
Yeah, it is a tough one. It's a tough one.
I'll come back.
It could be like something just random about me.
You what?
Like something random about me?
Yeah, anything that they don't know. People don't know about you.
So some people don't know I work at Kroger.
Really?
Yes, sir.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
You work at Kroger's?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's really good. I'll have to go there and maybe I'll get some discounts from. No, I'm joking with you.
Yeah, you get a Kroger Plus. You get a Kroger Plus card, then you could probably get a discount.
That sounds good. That's good. Okay, let's go back to football again. And what's the hardest thing about playing defensive end?
I would say something that can like get kind of challenging is double teams, but there's always a way to get around that. That's what I would say the most like difficult.
They double team you.
Yes, when you get double teamed, it can get difficult. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's usually when one guy hits you, they don't hit you at the same time. One guy hits you, pretty soon,
and then another guy comes around.
They just keep hammering on you a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Okay, an important question: what are words you live by? Like, I'm kind of an old guy, but I'm still challenged to do the best I can do and leave it on the field and things like that. That's my philosophy. What words do you live by? Anything?
I would say never give up. Don't let nobody take you down. And don't try to compare yourself to other people. You know what I'm saying? Set goals. There's a lot of things that I like kind of.
You just given me 4 answers now.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay,
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I like live by a couple of things. I like to keep myself on my toes. Yeah.
Okay, that's super. That's really good. Let's talk about recruiting a little bit. What's been the hardest thing so far with recruiting?
I wouldn't say anything is like too hard about it, because we can't really do much as like far as business because COVID and all that.
Right.
But yeah, it's actually pretty good. It's not too complicated or anything like that. It's pretty good. I enjoy it.
Do you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what's good about it?
I mean, it's always exciting to talk to coaches and college, because you watch college football on TV and you're like, oh, okay. Like when you're younger, you thinking like, oh, I want to be like that someday. Then when you're in that position and you get scholarships and stuff like that, you're like, oh wow, like this is just really happening.
Right. That's super. It's super. With the pandemic and it's getting better. I mean, things are hopefully slowing down. How do you go to approach? Let's see. How are you going to approach June? Because you're probably going to have some camps. Colleges are planning on it, having some camps. I hope they can. How will you approach that? Have you given any thought to that?
Yes, sir. I actually plan to attend as many camps as I can. Any camp that I'm able to get into. I actually want to go on some visits and stuff like that. Stuff like that. Yes,
I would think you'll be able to, for sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay. My last question. Why would I recruit you?
I would say I have a good personality, and I think I have a pretty good education. I think I'm decent at football, and I give my best 100%, and I'm working on myself. I continue to try to progress myself.
And you're going to be a good team player wherever you go.
Sure, yes, sir. For sure.
That's huge, I think.
Yes, sir.
I think that's really important. Okay, well, good interview.
Yes, sir.
I enjoyed it, and you've done a good job. Thank you very much for being on the podcast, okay?
Yes, sir, for sure.